Don't just live for tomorrow, or just live in yesterday. Just be glad for all you have that's in today. And though you've come through many obstacles.
Hey everyone, Connie here, and welcome to my blind reaction to episode 8 of Amphibia. So, you may have saw my video the other day about the entire Totally Not Mark situation and everything. Well, I'm able to get to this. I should be able to get to Arcane as well. But it's been really hard. Because I'm recording this a day in advance, obviously. This is a Saturday show. I record it during the week. I'm usually a day or two in advance. So I'm recording this on Friday, a day after I record that other video. And it's not been easy already. It's just, I won't go into details, but yesterday was really, really bad for my mental health. And I'm okay so far today, but we'll see how it goes. Either way, Amphibia, yeah. Not much to talk about. It's pretty much a different story every time. We got a little hint of some actual story happening last time, with the box finally being brought up, and and with Hop Hop like recognizing it but not telling them he recognized it. So there's a little something there, but so far it's still very episodic. It's still very much not that interesting. Anne is still not that interesting of a character. Most of them are still not interesting as characters. The only one who still really is Polly. But hopefully that changes. Hopefully. I don't know. I'm just not invested in any of these characters. Like, pretty much at all. Outside of Polly. It's like, they're just so flat to me. They just don't have enough character or personality for me to latch onto, and are just completely one note. They bore me, to put it simply. And the most seemingly well thought out character doesn't actually appear, or doesn't actually have focus, rather, most of the time. She's more of a character there for jokes most of the time, and as such kind of falls by the wayside more often than she should. So I don't know. But hopefully it changes, hopefully it gets better, we'll see. So we have another episode here, 2 more mini-sodes to get through. Let's get into it, see what we got. So when the screen fades to black, pause this redirect and go to the description below. Follow the link to the reaction, and after you watch it, come back here to the redirect and resume play. Because after it fades to black and then fades back in, everything from that point forward will be my afterthoughts and will contain spoilers to the episode. So, that being said, thank you so much for tuning in, and I will see you at the reaction. And we are back, and we'll begin with spoilers in 3, 2, 1, now. So, I had to actually go back and look up what the first half of the episode was about, because I had completely forgotten, because the second half, the second mini-sode, overshadowed it so much, it's not funny. So let's talk about the first half first. Makes sense, right? Anne fakes being sick to get out of working on the farm during a rainstorm. The others all get sick. She feeds them soup that accidentally turns them progressively more and more red. and they think it's a fatal disease. And so she has to carry them up a mountain to get to the spring that's the only cure. But it ends up just being a mushroom she put in the soup. That half of the episode, that mini-sode, was so fucking melodramatic, it's not funny. Like, I've seen a lot of cartoons at this point. I've seen a lot of them, and I've seen this kind of plot done before. Both with the entire faking being sick and with the fake death kind of situation. And every time I've seen it done, I don't think I've ever seen it done as melodramatic as this. Like, they ham it up so hard that it actually makes this extremely unenjoyable to me. Like, there's a certain level, there's a certain point where I like when they go over the top with the drama and everything. But in a scenario like this, with this kind of plot and everything, it just makes it so ridiculous. Like, I understand this is marketed towards kids. I get that. But any good cartoon will also appeal to all ages. I feel that a cartoon that only appeals towards one demographic just honestly isn't doing its job enough. Even an adult cartoon should be able to appeal to other ages. Not necessarily young ages, but at least like older teenagers still in different stages throughout adulthood. It shouldn't just appeal to one demographic. If it is, it's failing at being a piece of media, in my eyes. This first mini-sode felt like it could only appeal to little kids to me. And I'm sure that's not true. I'm sure there's plenty of people in other age groups and whatnot who could very much find interest in this. But maybe it's just me then, but the melodrama was just too much for me in this. It's just like, they were hamming it up so hard. And the entire faking being sick thing, it's like, I've seen that, again, done before, and it's been done better in pretty much everything else. Because it's not usually combined with this amount of melodrama. It's just, it was annoying to watch, honestly. I wasn't enjoying it. So we're going to move on to the second half that completely eclipsed the first half. The second episode here, while Hop Pop is out getting more glue for a family shrub, instead of a family tree, the kids, I guess you could just call them, discover a secret passage in the fireplace and go on an adventure through the family's history with their secret hobbies, I guess you'd call them. Their secret hobbies and interests and all, each of them relating to a different one of these kids. The first one was a scientist who did experiments that could be seen as an affront to nature, which definitely appeals to Sprig. The second one was a warrior who would do these battle simulation trainings and collect weapons, definitely appealing towards Polly. And the third was a puzzle master, someone who appreciated puzzles and games and would even set up these deadly traps where puzzles were, the key to saving your life, basically. And the puzzle aspect definitely connects with Anne. Not only that, but the planter who was the puzzle master was also not a by birth planter, but I think they called her a transplant, which I hate that term for that. But basically, she was a non-blood related member of the family, an honorary member of the family who kind of joined in through close relationship and bond and all, which I very much do. I will say this, and this not only goes for this episode, but just for Anne and her kind of integration into the planter family. I do like that this show goes with the entire thing about family is not inherently blood related. I really like that message, and that's something that a lot of people need to hear, and it's important. Um, Family can be chosen. It used to be like kind of this old gag in a lot of movies and shows and stuff where it's like you can't choose your family, but you can. Like, family is just a term, and it's not. It doesn't have to be those you either live with or those who are blood related to you. You can very much choose your family, and this series does display that, and I like that. I will admittedly like that. Um, the big appeal of this second episode and the reason, or this second mini-sode, and the reason why it overshadows the first so much, it was honestly really funny. Like, it was one of the first episodes of this that were just that funny in at so many points. Like, there have been other episodes that have had a couple funny jokes here or there, or even a funny scenario, like those love doves. Those were fucking hilarious. Just everything about those were amazing. um, but usually, like, it hasn't been super consistent throughout the episode. It's been just like, okay, a joke here, a joke there, one scenario, one character or whatnot. But no, here it's like this was actually very consistently funny as a minisode. It was just very good. Not to mention, I liked the idea of it. Them discovering these secret chambers underneath the planter farm, each of them belonging to a different planter of the past, and each of them connecting to each of the kids. I really actually like that idea. And it's not necessarily something new. I've seen stuff like that before. But it's still well executed here. And we get to see Polly being a badass. We get to see Sprig nerding out over science stuff and loving puzzles and saving the day because of that, also bragging really hard and almost dying. But it was genuinely fun. It was one of the best minisodes of the series so far. Like, it's not even close. It was definitely one of the best ones. And the unfortunate thing is I don't think we're going to get those that often. I think that those episodes are going to still be few and far between, and it sucks. But also, this episode didn't really continue with any big story related stuff. It just went back to the episodic nature of things while ignoring the initial setup. Excuse me. That we had for the actual story portion of things last episode. It just kind of moved on. And that's a bit disappointing for sure. But hopefully it does pick up on that again soon, because it's like it needs it. This show, like, even though it has some good stuff like this minisode, the second minisode here, it needs that big story stuff, because otherwise it really needs it. It's at that point where it's getting to, like, kind of annoy me a little bit. To where it's like I need something to elevate this series. And again, I do know a little bit about where this goes, just because it's been impossible to not. Like, before I started this up again, due to donation reward, it's like, yeah, I had heard stuff about it. I had seen stuff on Twitter and whatnot. So I know some things about where this goes. And I don't know the context behind it, though, so I'm not sure if it's going to improve enough to make all of that work for me. But we'll have to see. We'll have to just take it as it goes and hope for the best, really. But But yeah, we'll get to that when and if we get to that. This episode was half disappointment and half really impressive. So I'm kind of mixed on this episode. I didn't like the first half almost at all, but I really liked the second half. Like, I actually really liked it. So take that as you will. For now, though, tell me in the comments below, what did you think of this episode of Amphibia? And for now, I'm Connie, and I'm signing off. See you all next time.